Have you ever been introduced to something and you find decades later that it's still lurking in the back of your mind, even though it may have had just a fleeting moment of your attention when it was originally shared? Well, that's what happened to me with today's masterclass subject, the Queen of Customer Service, Mary Gober. Yes, you heard that right. Mary Gober has long been regarded as the queen of all things customer service. And for a brief while, I'm not sure there was a big company out there that wasn't getting trained in the art of exceptional customer service, either directly by Mary Gober herself or through a stream of her international associates. Gober coined what was effectively known as the Gober method of customer service. Not the most original name, I'll grant you, but a methodology that sought to build in all staff a sense of urgency and personal accountability for customer satisfaction, loyalty, business growth, and even increased sales. Yes, all staff. Because Mary Gober believes even, that everyone has a role to play in customer service. Just like everyone, regardless of role, rank or file, has a customer to serve somewhere in the complex system that makes up a business. To this day, the Gober method centers around the mindset, language and action that creates great customer service. Born in the US, although settled in the UK these days by all accounts, Gober gained a bachelor degree in speech communication and human relations and psychology at the University of Kansas, before going on to gain a master's in human growth and behaviour a few states east in the University of Illinois. Shortly afterwards, following a brief stint training management teams in the Middle East, Mary Gober International was born, a global business that set about designing, marketing and delivering management development and customer service training programs. For almost 45 years, Gober worked on all sides of the globe, developing people's capability to lead, embed and sustain the attitudinal and behavioural improvements that make for great customer service. Author of a small suite of books that all centre around great customer service, it was her 1984 book, The Art of Quality Service, that caught my attention all the way back in the early 2010s. Having attended a Mary Gober training course herself, a colleague of mine at the time shared the learning from her experience, waxing lyrical about the transformative experience she'd had in enlightening a room full of us to what we could do to improve our customer service through our individual and collective mindsets, language and action. Now, the Gober method has lots to it, and I'm sure it still has many benefits all these years later. But this isn't a sales pitch for their company or their services, nor is it the focus really of what sticks in my mind all these years on from that first introduction to Gober's work. No, the bit that sticks in my mind has a particular focus on language and is commonly known as the red and black continuum. A tool for helping you think about emotions, your emotions, and how these emotions impact both the effectiveness of the service that we're able to provide, but also the effectiveness of our decision making and the effectiveness of our leadership with that too. The red and black continuum is designed to open your mind to the fact that as humans, we are complex beings who come with emotions. And it's these emotions that directly influence and impact the behaviours we demonstrate, which in turn impacts positively or negatively the way we serve our customers, whomever those customers might be. This is a tool that helps you think about your mindset. Or rather, I found it to be a tool for helping to develop better control over mindset. It enables a leader, a manager, or anyone really to understand when they have entered or are on the verge of entering a red emotional state, where thoughts, behaviours and actions are detrimental and potentially damaging to effective customer service. And how, when it happens, we can return to a black emotion state where composure and more rational thinking are present and active. Of course, what we want to achieve ideally is never having entered a red emotional state in the first place, but that only comes with practice. Or, more to the point, it only comes with greater self-awareness and a greater will and desire to have better control over our emotional states and the impact that these can have on our behaviour and the subsequent decision making that often follows suit. A red emotion state sees a person unable to distinguish between the responsibilities and choices they have available to them. When in this state of mind, we put negative focus on others, often placing blame at the feet of those around us, making excuses or failing to take accountability for our own part in things. We become angry, volatile even, and often ultimately render ourselves feeling powerless. We turn our whole view inward, making ourselves the centre of all sorrow and generally having a pity party at the expense of those around us or who we're working alongside. In a leadership setting, we do the polar opposite of lead. It's in these moments when our emotions have negatively taken hold that we look to protect ourselves, often at the cost of anyone around us. We become less likely to make the optimal decision for the situation at hand, and it's in these moments that trust gets broken, dissatisfaction is formed, and in the worst case scenarios, untold damage can materialise. In contrast, a black emotion state sees a person able to recognise what is within their control, what's within their influence, and the things that cannot be controlled, even when all the things are going wrong and the entire house is falling down. Black emotions are when a person remains calm, even in the heat of the moment. They assume accountability and responsibility, and they look for the positive in things. In a black emotion state, we're able to recognise what needs to be done, and as a result, we make effective decisions in a rational and emotion-free state. Decisions that proactively help move things forward, and which are an embodiment of great customer service. Red and black emotions are about choice. We have a choice that we can make in the moment, allowing these emotional states to take hold. But being able to make that choice requires us first to develop the muscle that allows someone to be more effective in making that choice in the moment it's needed. Effective choice requires us to be more emotionally intelligent, something that has been mentioned a few times already in the Masterclass episodes to date. Now, emotional intelligence, or EQ as it's also known, is a multi-layered thing. It's something that we'll cover in a future Masterclass, no doubt, in its own right. But in relation to the red and black continuum, we first need to learn to understand ourselves better. What makes us tick? What makes us cross over to darker side behaviours? What those behaviours look like and what they look like in action, and what brings us back to a better place. In addition, we need to learn how to regulate our emotions, how to take yourself out of the red and into the black. The more we learn about ourselves, the better we become in spotting poor behaviours, or the emotions associated with poor behaviours, and the better we become in removing ourselves from harm's way, in advance of red emotion states taking hold, or more quickly recovering and resolving the situations when we happen to fall foul of red emotion. We're human after all. We're all going to experience red emotion at some stage. Mary Gober was fond of making the point that everything you think, feel, say and do is either a service or a disservice to yourself and everyone around you. This means being more mindful of the mindset that we have at any given time, but also more aware of how that mindset shapes the language and the action that shines through in our service and the behaviours that sit alongside that service. And that leads me to, what do you do with this? Like most episodes in this Masterclass series, it starts with a little self-reflection. Perhaps ask yourself the following 4 questions to begin the process of looking inwardly at our emotions and the mindset, language and action that sits at your core. Questions like, what does red and black emotion look like for me? What events, occasions or scenarios trigger a transition of emotion in me? What takes me from black to red? How can I better recognise when I'm in red emotion state? And who can I get to help me when I go to that place? How do I get better at regulating my emotion in order to become a better leader? For me, this isn't about customer service. Yes, it's a model that was born out of how to ensure that people provide a better service to their customers. But rather, For me, this is a useful leadership tool, one that allows you to think more effectively about how you make decisions and how your emotions impact that decision making. In better understanding the emotions we have and the emotional states we can enter into, we're able to lead more effectively and at the same time provide a more effective and exceptional service to those we work for, with, and alongside. Mary Gober is said to have been highly influenced by the words and teaching of Mahatma Gandhi. The same Mahatma Gandhi that said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." And I can't think of a better place to start just that than this red and black continuum. As always, you can find out more about Mary Gober by clicking in the link in the comments section below. And please feel free to check out all the previous episodes of Masterclass. We've got loads out there. We love sharing this stuff with you, and please come back soon.